Item: SCP-766. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Due to SCP-766's immobile nature, Site-362 has been built around it. Operated by Dummy Corporation in Indonesia, SCP-766 is stored in a locked room behind the site's storage room. A wooden crate has been lowered over it, which is fastened to a cleat on the floor by a combination lock. Though classified as safe, precautions should be taken when interacting with SCP-766. Leather gloves and plexiglass visors are recommended for handling, and are stored on site. Description: SCP-766 is a human-shaped anomaly in space that matter cannot pass through, making it, in effect, an invisible statue of a person. Plaster applied to the anomaly has allowed researchers to study its shape. It is in the shape of a perfectly anatomically correct nude woman in her late 30s with features consistent with the native population of the island. It is running, mid-stride, and looking behind, up, and to the left. The right hand forms a fist with the fingers leaving a hollow, cylindrical opening, suggesting that it once held an implement of some sort. A band on the left shoulder is indented in a way that the strap of a satchel might cause. SCP-766's facial expression appears both exhausted and startled. SCP-766 was once known to the local population as the woman-bearing tree. A santalum album had grown around it, suggesting its shape. It had been considered a local botanical oddity until a forest fire in 19, which destroyed the tree and left ash resting atop SCP-766. Making it appear that the debris was floating. Foundation agents intervened, sequestering it. SCP-766 does not appear to actually be constructed from any sort of material. X-rays do not show its form and tests to determine conductivity have returned no results. Sonar remains the sole effective imaging technique. Attempts to obtain a sample of SCP-766 using diamond-tipped drills resulted in broken machinery. All elements of SCP-766 are solid and immobile. This extends to its hair, and agents should be mindful to avoid puncture wounds. The use of on-site safety equipment, though not mandatory, is strongly recommended. Attempts to relocate SCP-766 have proven ineffective. The use of bulldozers and other heavy machinery to move it has been attempted, to no avail.